Assalamualaikum. My name is Balqis binti Omar. My matrix number is DF170003. I'm from group 8. Now I would like to present about the introduction of mechanical plant and machinery for our project. Okay, let's start. Occupational safety and health, or referred to as occupational health and safety (OHS), occupational health or workplace health and safety (WHS), is a multidisciplinary field concerned with the safety, health and welfare of people at work. Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH) in Malaysia responsible to ensure that the safety, health and welfare of workers in both the public and private sector. That to enforce the Factories and Machinery Act 1967 and the Occupational Safety and Health. In this project, a client award a new construction project which is to propose development of 50 units of a 2-story lecture room building by a University Tun Hussein on Malaysia UTHM. A preliminary risk assessment was requested by the client. Risk assessment is where the severity of the hazard and its potential outcomes are considered in conjunction with other factors including the level of exposure and the number of persons exposed and the risk of that hazards being realized. The findings of this report are in accordance with the hierarchy guideline. Hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control hierarchy have become fundamental to the practice of planning, management and operation of a business as a basic of a risk management. Next, what is mechanical plant and machinery? The difference between plant and machinery is that generally machinery will have moving working parts while plant will not. So the proper selection and planning of equipment is important for timely completion of project within planned cost and for increasing profit and margin. By using the machinery and work equipment, expose workers to multiple risks. Ensuring machine operator safety requires measures as effective as possible to the workers. So, next, the objective for our project have 3 parts, which is the first part is to identify the type of safety and health hazard that can be found in a construction site for mechanical plant and machinery. The second part is to provide a preliminary risk assessment of identified safety and health hazard. Then the last part of the objective is to recommend the appropriate risk control to ensure the safety and health of workers. Okay. For our project, we have some problem that we found, which is that we can conclude for our project is a wide range of mechanical equipment is used within industry. An example include power press, cutting tools, spanners and rods. There are significant risks associated with using machinery and equipment, and injuries sustained because of unsafe use of plant tend to be severe. With better preliminary risk assessment and risk control in accordance with the hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control hierarchy guideline, hazard can be recognized, controlled and reduce incident in workplace. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yoogaanathan. My metric number is BF170042. I would like to explain about the heavy equipment inspection. So what is heavy equipment inspection and why it is important? Heavy equipment inspection is the process include manual, mechanical and computerized system which inspect the components or function properly to the specification. And why it is important? Because it prevents accidents and injuries occur in the construction site. Moreover, it will identify the machinery condition which is in good condition or bad condition before starting of the project, to make worker under safe condition, and finally to make working environment in good condition. The working place is under stable and not occur any accident. So the next is I will explain about the flow chart of heavy equipment inspection. Okay, machinery inspection is very important and crucial before starting of any project. Without a proper inspection, the machineries will not safe to be used and can cause injury or fatal to human due to the accident. So this flowchart shows some steps of inspecting of machineries before and after inspection. These are some example of the inspection before and after. So look around the machine for visible leaks, inspect the tires, check the fluid levels, remove any dirts, check hydraulic pressure, hand over cap to the operator, check the operator control before and after warning lights. So when conduct a inspection, we need to consider all problem causes to avoid any problem occur in the construction site.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings. My name is Muhammad Irfan Zulkarnain bin Muhammad Amin, metric number CF180201. So I'm going to present about the methodology of project part 3.0 until 3.5. So we are going to start with the risk management. The basic principle of risk management is to integrate risk management as part of planning at all levels of business, accept all risks, make risk decisions appropriately, and manage the risk. So we can see this is the flow to tackle the management of risk with starting and then classify the activities according to the work, product, services, activities, identifying the hazards, determine risk, deciding if the risk is tolerable, risk control action plan, and reviewing adequacy of risk control. Second part is the risk assessment. Risk assessment is the whole process of identification of hazard, risk analysis, and risk evaluation. Taking into consideration any hazard could happen in all activity that will be done throughout the construction progress. Risk assessment also is to prepare for any incident happen during construction. It also has aim which is to create safer, healthier and comfortable workplace. This is the general flow of risk assessment. With step 0 is the preparation for risk assessment. Step 1, hazard identification, creating accident scenario. Step 2 is the risk estimation, which is 3 step of this is considering in the risk analysis. And then proceeding is the risk acceptable. If yes, then we can summarize the risk assessment. If the risk is not acceptable, then we need to develop risk control operation and study the assessment of risk control operation. Next part is the determination of risk. This is the formula to determine relative risk is equal to severity times by likelihood. The next part of this methodology is the severity of risk. The severity is consists of 5 parts, which is catastrophic, fatal, serious, minor, and negligible. For the example of catastrophic event is numerous fatalities, irrecoverable property damage, and productivity. The rating is 5. For fatal, approximately one single fatality major property, damage if hazard is realized serious, with rating of 4, serious, severity, no fatal injury, permanent disability with rating of 3, minor disabling but permanent injury rating of 2, and the least one is negligible minor abrasions, bruise, cut, first aid type injury with rating of 1. And this is the severe rating range based on high rank. And then the likelihood of hazard. Likelihood is the high chance of possibility that an event will occur. That likelihood is ranged by 5, that most likely, possible, conceivable, remote, and inconceivable. The example for the most likely is result of the hazard or event being realized with rating of 5. Possible has a good chance of occurring and is not unusual, rating of 4. Conceivable might be occur at some time in future, rating of 3. Remote has not been known to occur after many years, with the rating of 2. And this one is practically impossible and has never occurred with rating of 1. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, doctor. My name is Kokilla Raman and my case number TF170007. Okay. A risk matrix is a matrix used to define the level of risk by considering the category of likelihood against severity. The value gained from multiplication of severity and likelihood. The range of 1 to 4, which is green, identified as low, and further reduction may not be necessary. For the range 5 to 12, which is yellow, identified as medium risk, which require a planned approach to control the hazard and apply temporary measure. For the range 15 to 25, it indicates high risk, which requires the immediate action to control the hazard. For the decision of control, decision process is where risk is a dominant issue and planning does need to have guideline on the tolerability of risk. Usually, the design of control will refer the guideline from here. There are 3 ways to control the risk. First is most effective control, which is elimination of hazardous job and do's. Second is fairly effective control, which is substitution, isolation, and engineering protections. Third is least effective control, which is administrative control by changing the procedure or PPE use as additional protection. Okay. In this project, we have identified few work activities that cause hazards to humans. The risk level has been identified. All the risks in the range of medium and high, which require planned and immediate action to control hazard. Thank you.
My name is Komalah Kalaiselvam, DF170028. Today I'm gonna present rationalize the most critical hazard. The most critical hazard in our case is fall hazard, and the most critical health hazard is drilling. Hierarchy is done to be determine the type of activity which the identify the hazard so that the risk of the accident is obtained. Then the risk control is performed to reduce the hazard exposure on each work activity. Hierarchic implementation is to identify all factors that may risk worker towards an accident, consider the possibility of hazard that may occur under any circumstance and condition, and enable worker to plan, intro, and monitor preventive measure against the risk of occupational injury.
Okay, next I would like to explain about the health hazard. Okay, the health hazard need to be considered in machinery part. Most of the earthwork can cause dust. From during drilling of the pile, the dust from the drilling can cause health issues like lungs, cancer, asthma, and breathing difficulties. Construction workers have a high risk of developing these diseases because many construction tasks can create high level of dust. This dust is very dangerous for human health. Dust in the workplace can also contaminate or decrease the quality of work and can cause harm to the environment. Next, how to control these problems. Okay, there are two types, wet method and follow personal protective equipment, which is PPE. Okay, first of all, wet method. Okay, wet method is water spraying over dusty surface to keep dust level down and to prevent the spread to the construction area or working area. Okay, you can see in this picture clearly they are spraying the water to prevent the dust occur. So next is follow the personal protective equipment. Okay, wear safety equipment to prevent injuries and health problems. So workers should wear mask in this case. So need to prevent this type of problem. Thank you.
Furthermore, I'm going to explain about safety hazard, which is fall hazard. The danger of falling is anything in the workplace that can lead to accidental loss of balance or body support and result in a fall. OSHA generally require fall protection at a height of 4 feet industry, 5 feet in maritime and 6 feet in construction. Fall protection must be provided while working on hazardous equipment and machine. Now we're going to look at the fall anatomy of a fall. It takes most people about 1/3 of a second to become aware, and it takes another 1/3 of a second for the body to react, and a body can fall up to 7 feet in 2/3 of a second. So this diagram will explain about the anatomy of the fall. Next, I'm gonna explain about the hierarchy of fall protection. First is hazard elimination. Second is passive fall protection. Third is fall restraint system. Fourth is fall arrest system, and fifth is an administration control. So this is the step for the fall protection. First, I'm gonna explain about elimination. The first is the best way to reduce the risk of fall hazard is to eliminate them before they happen created. So before the hazard or accident happens, better to be eliminate those hazards. To eliminate hazards, we can apply preventive through identify, design and addressing during the programming and design phase of new building and process. By this, we can identify those hazards during our work period or at our workplace. Assess and implement safety measures at the beginning of the project to ensure optimal safety for employees from construction into operation through continuous maintenance. Next, I'm gonna explain about engineering control. So engineering control is about certification fall protection system begin during design and continue through installation and use. Have this documentation also facilitate the formal inspection required by the equipment manufacturer as well as the re-certification of the system required. ANSI Z359.6 every 5 years maximum. The risk of valuable fall hazard assessment identify risks and measure them to compare to other risks. Severe is measured by determining the distance of fall and possible obstacles that occur during the fall. Next step is going to be administrative control. A worker who get necessary training are better able to perform their duties. So before the worker get to work, the worker should be well trained in their field to avoid any accident happens. Training is required by OSHA rules and other standards. So this is an important part of the fall protection program. Participants require skills and tools to solve fall protection problems before they arise, so that they do not depend less effective and reactive approach in the field. Continuous training support are other key element of the fall and increase protection program the effective of the each step. So if the worker are going through a continuous training, they will able to do their work without any accidents at their workplace or during their work period. The final is personal protective equipment, which is PEE. When engineering control is unworkable or practical, such as construction or maintenance project, personal fall protection system or equipments PPE are used. Resistant positioning system high worker, preventing him from enter a dangerous position where a fall could occur, and also hand-free work. Both systems have three components, namely harness or belt, connection tool, and fastening point. This is the equipment that workers should wear during their work to prevent or avoid any type of fall that may happen during their work time. That's all from my part. Thank you.